Have you ever thought that the whole world would stop and listen to a powerful woman talk about the Filipinos? And when she speaks, everyone falls silent, even shedding tears? Who is saying these words? Yes, it's Queen Margrethe II of Denmark.
Are you ready to hear what she had to say? And then she said something that silenced the entire room. With a calm but firm voice, Queen Margrethe looked out over the hall and said, "When we speak of strength, we often look to our armies. When we speak of resilience, we look at our economy. But if we are to speak of true quiet strength, the kind that moves not mountains but hearts, we speak of the Filipinos among us." The room felt completely still. Forks paused mid-air. Conversations died. Everyone turned full attention to her. She continued, "In our hospitals, our homes, our ships, there are Filipinos who bring light in the darkest of days. I have seen it with my own eyes. I've heard their laughter in the corridors, even after 14-hour shifts. I've watched them comfort the elderly, not just with care, but with kindness that cannot be taught." Then she shared a personal story. She spoke of a Filipino caregiver who had taken care of one of her distant relatives. Her name was Alona, the queen said, her voice softening. She came to Denmark leaving behind her own children, yet she treated my cousin as her own. When he passed, she wept as if she had lost a father. That moment touched something in everyone present. Some guests wiped away discreet tears. She went on. "Filipinos don't just work, they serve with soul. And while they may come here in search of opportunity, they leave behind something greater, a legacy of care, community, and courage." By the time she finished, the entire hall gave her a standing ovation, not out of politeness, but out of deep, heartfelt respect. Diplomats from other countries even approached Filipino guests at the event, thanking them, apologizing for times they might have been overlooked, and asking to learn more about their stories. That night, it wasn't just a state dinner, it became a tribute, a recognition. The Queen did not just honor Filipinos in Denmark, she reminded the world of their silent heroism. She continues,
Mother,
"We often speak of global power and influence, but I have learned that strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. It is in the smile of a nurse, the patience of a caregiver, the song of a mother working far from her children. Filipinos embody that quiet strength." She paused again, not because she needed to, but because everyone else did. And then she shared something. Her voice cracked, just silently, on the word spirit. And that was it. For many watching, especially Filipinos, both at home and abroad, it was more than just a tribute. It was a validation. It was gratitude finally spoken out loud on the world stage. All across the Philippines, from quiet towns in the provinces to the busy streets of Manila, people watching the broadcast felt a lump in their throat. Overseas Filipino workers, often underappreciated and misunderstood in their host countries, felt seen, truly seen. Social media lit up with posts from OFWs in Hong Kong, caregivers in Italy, nurses in the UK, seafarers in the Middle East. Many share their own stories, some for the first time. The Queen's words were replayed again and again, translated, quoted, etched into hearts. For a people long accustomed to sacrifice, to being in the background, to being strong in silence, this was a moment of light, a moment when the world turned, looked their way, and said, "Thank you." And that made all the difference. From Rome to Riyadh, from Toronto to Tokyo, there is a Filipino community in Denmark too. In Denmark, the Filipino community, though small compared to those in North America or the Middle East, has steadily grown, has since the 1990s. Many came as caregivers, nurses, and seafarers. later building their lives and raising families in Danish towns and cities. Filipino nurses and healthcare workers have been praised for their compassion, professionalism, and strong work ethic, traits that have made them essential in hospitals and care homes, especially during the pandemic. They're often invisible in the public eye, but not to Queen Margrethe. In 2023, during her Golden Jubilee celebrations, Queen Margrethe II acknowledged contributions of migrant workers, especially mentioning the Filipino caregivers who had become part of the Danish fabric, not only for their work but also for the warmth and care they bring to Danish families. Her speech resonated deeply with the Filipino diaspora, recognizing their quiet strength, vital role in society. The Queen's recognition was more than ceremonial. It symbolized a growing awareness of how migrant communities, including Filipinos, are shaping modern Denmark, not just through labor, but through the values they carry: resilience, family, and deep respect for life and duty. Meet Maria, a nurse in Aarhus, who's been serving the Danish healthcare system for 11 years. Originally from the Philippines, Maria wakes up every day at 5 a.m. to prepare for her 12-hour shift at the hospital. Her patients don't just know her as a skilled medical professional, they love her. One Danish woman once said, "Maria is like a sunshine on a rainy day. She doesn't just care for me, she gives me hope." Maria often says the hardest part is in the long hours, dismissing her daughter's growing up years back home. Yet she stays strong, sending money home for her child's education, hoping one day they'll be reunited in a better life. Then there is Jomar, a ship mechanic from Cebu, who's been working abroad with Maersk vessels since 2008. Life at sea is tough. Days and nights blur together. Sometimes he goes weeks without hearing his kids' voices due to poor signal. "I miss my kids every day," he says, his voice cracking, but knowing I'm helping provide for their future keeps me going. Every peso he earns helps pay for tuition, food, and medicine back home. He keeps their photos in his locker and looks at them every night before sleeping in his tiny bunk. And Leah, a domestic helper, Copenhagen, story of resilience. "I started out afraid," she says, recalling her first days in a foreign household, trying to navigate a language she barely understood and winter cold she'd never felt before. But things change. The family I work with treats me like their own. It felt like home. She sends half her salary to support her parents and her younger siblings, who rely on her strength from afar. These are just a few voices among thousands. People who quietly sacrifice, who carry the weight of two worlds, the one they left behind and then the one they serve now. Have you ever thought about what it means to leave your home, your language, your culture, just to help your family survive? It means living with a kind of homesickness that never truly fades. It means finding ways to smile through exhaustion, to celebrate birthdays over video calls, to count years in remittances rather than memories. It means being invisible in a foreign country while being the lifeline for loved ones back home. These are stories not just of work, but of love, sacrifice, and unbreakable hope. So why does this matter? Why are the Queen's words so important? Because representation matters. Because validation matters. Because when someone powerful sees the dignity in those who are often overlooked, it changes everything. Filipinos are used to being called helpers, nannies, maids, workers. But when a queen says they are family, healers, bridges, it redefines the narrative. It tells the world these people matter. And more importantly, it reminds Filipinos everywhere, you matter. After the Queen's speech, social media in Denmark and the Philippines lit up. Filipino netizens flooded timelines with gratitude. We felt seen, wrote one commenter. My mom is a nurse in Denmark. She cried when she heard the Queen's words, said another. Even Danish citizens shared their appreciation. We know how much Filipinos do here. It's good that our Queen recognized it publicly. Some Filipinos said they finally felt proud, not just out of their work, but because of their dignity. Isn't that something we all want? To be proud of who we are? What is it about the Filipino spirit that touches so many hearts? It's the resilience, the ability to laugh through struggle. It's the hospitality, making anyone feel at home. It's the deep sense of family and community. It's the songs, the smiles, the strength behind the soft voice. It is saying, kaya natin, to even when everything feels impossible. Queen Margrethe saw that. She didn't just see workers, she saw humanity. She saw something the world needs more of. So what now? Maybe it's time for more countries to follow Denmark's example, to recognize not just what Filipino workers do, but who they are. Maybe it's time for Filipinos to hold their heads a little higher, walk with a little more pride. Maybe, just maybe, it's all learned from that quiet strength that Queen talked about. Let me ask you, who is someone in your life who knows that kind of strength? Take a moment, think of them. Maybe send them a message. Tell them you see them, because the Queen of Denmark did. And now, the whole world is listening.